Good morning, Helen Davis here from Blended Therapy. If you can hear the sound in the background, that's my dog who's just decided to choose that moment to have a drink of water and is now, I think, going to come and see what's going on. Welcome to another morning meditation. Just a few minutes for us to sit silently together, connect, make space to start the day. I wanted to speak before we start about a post that I shared yesterday from somebody called Dorset Campbell-Ross, who I think was sharing to their local group. And it's not a sentiment that hasn't been seen elsewhere. We've seen a lot of similar comments, but I thought this particular person expressed it beautifully. Talking about when we see all that empty space around, whether you're watching from your window at home, whether you're lucky enough to be able to go out for a daily walk. Some of you may have seen the photographs that were shared recently of the deserted streets and squares in London. And it's quite easy, if we're not careful, to slip into a moment of fear around that, of looking at it as some kind of post-apocalyptic scene. But what this person said in their quote, in the piece they wrote, which, as I say, I shared on my page yesterday, well, it included the words, "It isn't the end of the world. It is the most remarkable act of global solidarity we may ever witness." People are not staying home, on the whole, out of fear. More of us are staying home out of love. People are not failing to connect physically with each other. People are not social distancing out of fear. And I don't mean that no one is, but a lot of people are doing it ultimately out of love. And wherever it's coming from you, at any point, you have the opportunity to change that. And if you can go into your own heart and realize that maybe actually there has been a lot of fear there, and I'm going to, I'll be honest, I find that too. When I'm walking, doing my daily walk, if I see somebody coming up to a gate or a pinch point where we're going to have to get connected and they don't step aside, I feel fear. But what I'm trying to do is then step away from that fear and reconnect with love and send that person love and compassion and support. And with that inevitably comes a smile, which is inevitably reciprocated. And it's different. So I would invite you, as I invite myself, every moment that I can think of it, to check in and think, am I doing what I'm doing out of fear, or am I doing it out of love? I am keeping myself as close to self-isolated as I can out of love. Out of love for the people that I want to protect, whether that's my own family, my students, my clients, or people in the wider world. And that's what most of us are actually doing. So, however you're sitting, whether you're on the floor or on a chair, let your feet connect to the ground. Really feel your feet engaging, connecting to the ground, resting down onto the ground. If it's helpful, you might like to try, first of all, completely flopping them, letting your feet be completely soft and floppy, and noticing what that does, doing it as I speak, what that does to your whole body. And then going a little bit the other way, connecting really firmly, almost pressing, creating tension in your body as your feet go into the ground. And then find a point between those two, whether you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, whether you're kneeling, whether you're on a chair. Find a point where you feel your feet resting into the ground, connecting. And maybe you start to feel a sense of engagement and connection up through the legs. Maybe not, it doesn't matter. But maybe there's a sense that your spine is a little bit more supported from the base, which allows the spine to lift a little and the shoulders to let go. And it's almost as if perhaps the shoulders are heaving a sigh of relief, that they're allowed to let go, to go off duty for a few minutes. And let your head simply rest on your spine and bring your awareness to your breath. If it's comfortable for you to do so, let your eyes close gently, or simply soften your gaze and rest them downwards. And breathe. However your breath is choosing to come right now is perfect. It is what it needs to be. So for a moment or two, simply watch your breath. Notice where in your body you're feeling it most strongly. Notice if there are any senses of tension or tightness around your body. And if so, if it feels helpful, for a few breaths you might like to direct the in-breath towards that place, drawing the in-breath down towards that part of your body that's feeling tight or tense. And on the exhalation, simply inviting that area to release, to soften, to let go. And maybe it will, and maybe it won't. Just let it know that it can if it wants to. And if you find that helpful, you can stick with that for a little while, or for as long as you want. Or you can simply bring your awareness back to your breath itself. And as you follow your breath, your mind will inevitably want to do its own thing. And when you notice that your mind has wandered, simply bring it back to your breath. Doing so without judgment, without criticism. In fact, with a gentle sense of encouragement that you have noticed it, whether you noticed it wandering from your own spontaneous realization or because I spoke. But each time that you bring your mind back to your breath, you're training it that it's okay, just for now, to be still. And when your mind is distracted by a sound, a thought, a sensation in your body, simply notice where it went and gently, kindly, bring it back to your breath. And if you start to feel or notice yourself feeling any emotion, sit with it, be with it. Bring your awareness to where in your body you feel that emotion most strongly. Noticing how it feels, what the sensations are in your body that feeling, that emotion is bringing up in you, and watching them. And if it helps to label the emotion, fear, anxiety, grief, or maybe love, joy, relief, then do so. But avoid the temptation to go off into explaining and analysing it for yourself. Simply notice it. Notice how it feels. Name it if that's helpful for you. And sit with the feeling. Watching it as it gradually shifts and changes and evolves, as everything always does. And when your mind goes off on a tangent, notice what happens in your body. Bring your awareness back to your feet. Have they lost that sense of connection? If you let your feet reconnect to the ground, allow your spine to be a little more supported. Maybe you realize that your head had tilted forwards or backwards. Your jaw had tightened, or perhaps your tongue was clenched to the roof of your mouth. Your lips pursed. Whatever had tightened or tensed in you, release it, soften it. Come back into your feet and return to the breath. Simply watching the rise and fall of your own breath, experiencing it in your own body, being still, making space. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace within us, around us, and far from us. If you feel ready to return to your daily life, feel free to do so. But if you prefer to sit here a little longer yourself, I invite you to do that. See you tomorrow.